Hello. Time for another episode, I guess. This time it's Siege of Boralus. This was the 17 we timed before the Dawnbreaker. And I'm just gonna jump straight in. Oh, one more word. If you like this content, by the way, feel free to share it with your friends, especially. I'm not asking you to like subscribe or anything. Well, obviously like the video, but if you could like share this with your friends, especially healer friends, of course, then this would make me very happy, because the reason I'm doing this is not because I'm looking to get famous or anything. it's it's it really is to kind of help people who are also looking to do these keys later on, like, because I frequent the Warcraft Priest Discord, and I often see people like asking questions about the most random things, and like, yeah, I just think it's important that there's some content like this where people can critically engage with some gameplay and take something for the next round. Okay, now I'm gonna jump in. The mob to watch here is this enforcer. He does a shout after 10 seconds, which will one-shot everyone if you don't use a FCD. As you can see, I pre-raptured the group here, and I will also use Faded and Desperate Prayer here. And because there's the Breath of Ian's shield also up, I think. No, it's not up yet. Now we'll get it, okay. No one really took damage anyway, because we all used FCDs, which is important. You should do this. There's also the fire bombs these guys are throwing, which does really bad, nasty, random damage. And your group should also like stun these or interrupt these when the shout goes out, because you don't want to get globaled from a combo of this shout and also the bombs. The mob to watch here is the Raider. And as you can see, I'm timing my Mind Bender and Mind Blast in a way so that I can reprimand while or after getting drawn in from the Raider. Also pop Berry here for the shout. You can also loss it, which you should do if you're range. I think I will grip the Shaman out. he ends up getting bopped for no reason. I think he's like getting panic bopped. But I end up gripping him out because he has no def CD and he lines it. As to not overcommit on def CDs, even though it's technically losing you damage. Something you will notice throughout this key is it is a key that is very heavy on random damage and also scripted heavy AoE damage. So something I will do that you don't see a lot of other disc priests do, in my opinion, like when I'm comparing logs, is I don't really play that much for damage. Yeah, I also noticed this in a Dawnbreaker. Oh yeah, we're investing here, by the way. There's this pet that you have to dodge. I think our Shaman, if you look at the minimap, he ends up not having a pot, and I think we master him. I'm frantically searching for my master button here because it's a different button on every character. I think it's Alt 4 or something, the binding, although I'm like searching the area what binding it is. Well, whatever. Back to the argument I was making. I'm not really playing for damage that much as I could, and sometimes even should. Yeah, that's something I can improve on. I fully agree. But I just like to prepare for damage events, and my philosophy is if the group is safe, you will time the key, and if you don't time the key because you didn't do enough damage, well, no one will know. First of all, and second, you wouldn't even have gotten into the situation where somebody could blame you for doing not enough damage, because a player that plays less safe might not have gotten to that point at the end of the key where, you know, they might have wiped earlier because this person was playing less safe. As you can see, I'm always, or at least trying to always reprimand on this move in. Like I use Flash LDR, maybe even Fade, and it tried to like time my Mind Blast and reprimand. I'm like holding it, see? Well, this time I'm not holding it, but at least the Rift explodes and it tops us. But my logic here is I don't want people to die from random damage after getting like drawn in from the Raider. So that's why I'm doing that. It makes it a little bit more safe. But I'm losing damage for it. That's the con. Again, I don't do it here. Also, most importantly, because I don't want to commit to another Mindbender use here or even use Mind Blast, because I know we're just gonna straight up pull the boss here. The Yoga gets fixated, and the goal here is to like make him run into a bomb. The way you can see the bombs, I'm gonna pause here for a second. Actually, I have to rewind 5 seconds. The way you can see where the bombs are gonna spawn is here. Oh, wait. Here. You see the circles that have like no sheen to them. Yeah. And they're like swirlies that have more texture to them. These are just gonna kill you. Yeah. I mean, these are as well, but they will also spawn a bomb. Yeah, that's how you know. So one will spawn here, one will spawn here, and one will spawn here. Let's see if I'm correct. Here, see? 3 bombs. That way you can already like move in the direction that you want to go, because you know there's gonna be a bomb there. And here again, as you can see, I'm kind of not casting anything because I'm pre-atoning people and I'm waiting for this Iron Hook. This Iron Hook is gonna draw people in, and I just want to penance out of it. Ideally, I have Mind Blast for this, and of course, Mind Bender, but I used it at the beginning, right? So I don't have it ready. I should use it now though. Like, watch me delay my Mind Bender a little bit, and then I wait for the hook, and then I will reprimand. Yeah, I cannot Mind Bender in time, but I will greet the cast here, and then use the reprimand afterwards. If you get the first bomb off, you will always get the third. You will always have time to walk over to the third bomb. If you miss one bomb, I think you won't. Well, as you can see, since it all happens so quickly, I don't really get to do what I want, which is to always line Mindbender or Mind Blast with a reprimand on the Iron Hook, but I managed to pull it off a couple of times. I see the zones here, I try to move over. There's a double bomb here. I think he gets both. Oh yeah. Very good. There's 4 bombs now, I didn't even see that. Or notice. The boss is almost dead. If you look at the timer to the left of my character, it's only 2 minutes in. This is a very quick boss fight if you play it correctly. I soothed this for no reason because we pull it anyway. I don't really have to route memorize. This is the first time I'm playing this key with these particular people. These curse blades apply a very bad curse debuff on a tank, which needs to be dispelled. I think you tried to focus the Wave Shaper here, if I'm not mistaken. And the mob to watch here is also the commander, the mob in purple. He jumps someone and applies a nasty debuff to someone. It's not as bad as the one in Dawnbreaker, which also does a upfront damage and then a daunt. I think it's doing less damage, but it also can kill you if you're not careful. So you should always like ideally flash heal DR and fade. There's another Raider here. I know I don't have Shadow Fiend up, so I'm trying to loss it here, I think, and I fail. It doesn't matter though, because the pull dies so quickly, there's no mob that could do random damage to us. See, I'm kind of delaying my Mindbender for this thing, which in hindsight was not needed. Yeah, I just played extra safe and I even lost here, and I don't even use Mindbender here for some reason. I should have used Mindbender here, because I will get it back for the next pack. Like, this is something you will see me do often, like I will aggressively hold damage spells for just to land it up with mechanics. Um, yeah. So I'm not doing the most damage this key, yeah. If you watch other Disc Priests at my level, where it is Radar O score, I mean, they will do more, yeah. But I just don't think it's that important yet. I love to say you kind of have to play by the rules in order when to break them, and the rules in that case are, well, saving your team first from damage, and then when you know, okay, I can get away with doing less healing here, or I don't have to prep as hard for this mechanic, I can just go full DPS mode. But since this is the first time I'm doing this key on this level, I'm playing it safe. Yeah. Nothing really to talk about here. It's just some little curse blades that we quickly. And here I kind of wished I didn't use Mindbender, because the pull died so quickly, and the next pull is much more dangerous. So you should always plan ahead a little bit. Like, I didn't expect this pack to die so quickly, but now I wished I had Mindbender up immediately. And I don't, yeah. So I'm missing a little bit of damage on this pack when I didn't need damage on this pack before. I think we lost here even, which is kind of baffling to me. I think you should last the next pull. But I don't know why we did that. I think this next pull is way more dangerous. There's also a commander here, so there's like a brief moment where you have two commanders. Yeah. So I'm popping Rapture here to assist a little bit with the debuff healing. The Evoker gets absolutely hammered from the debuff and gets a Panic, Pain Sub, and spell warding. I'm debating here where to go with this, because I didn't expect these three mobs not to be pulled. And also, I remember back then, back in the days, you could like walk these circles into the mobs and they would take damage from it. And believe it or not, I didn't know that this doesn't work anymore. So I was still doing it in every key before that. You will see that I'm holding Mindbender here, obviously, because we're pulling the boss soon. And when we pull this, I'm going to pause. And I'm going to pause here. Frequent mistake I see people do, even Disc Priests that have time to skew 17 already. I'm not going to name names. They use Mindbender when they are about to cast the Fiery Ricochet, which is wrong. They should cast a Mindbender here on pull, basically. Because again, as you've seen in my City of Threats episode, or in the Dawnbreaker episode, or almost in any episode really I've done. Episode, it sounds so pretentious, but you know what I mean. Like me doing this key. You see that I use Mindbender early, because if I use it early, I get to smite a few times and get the CD rolling. So I get to use it for the second mechanic that follows like 20 seconds after. So I'm also trying to do this thing here, which I end up not doing. And I pulled it off a few times, which is if you have one side of the group standing here and you are like on max range, and somebody gets targeted from the ricochet here, you will not get it. However, if you get it, I think it still jumps. It's weird. I have not understand. I don't understand this mechanic like completely. So I end up just taking the mechanic because I'm actually kind of good at surviving this because it's like ticking damage. You have like this bulwark talent that saves you from a potential death, and you also have leech, and leech is very good for these kind of mechanics, right? Because you're doing a big upfront healing there, and the leech just kind of carries you. So here I go straight into a Radiance, Reprimand, Smite, Smite, Smite. And now I'm just kind of frantically trying to reset my Mindbender CD. Yeah. You can always place 2 of these zones on top of each other and then move out. And I have to rewind this again, I'm sorry. As you see, I start here with a Mind Blast, even though I have no atonements up, because the Mind Blast also gives CDR. And by that, I get to just cast a Mindbender immediately, but also have the Rift already moving to the boss, which is important, because not only does the Rift do a lot of healing on its own, but obviously you also want to have pressed Mind Blast at this point already, because you get the 20% atonement healing buff. So sometimes you have to switch these 2 buttons up, Mind Blast and Mindbender, in cases like these. So you have both rolling. And since this is a very short damage window, it doesn't matter that you technically lose uptime on Mindbender for that and damage. Yeah. So we'll use Mind Blast here, Mindbender, I will Radiance, and then I will just Reprimand out of the zone and Smite. Now, after doing this, I will not get it ready for a 3rd time. Yeah, the timer is just too short. He will do this frontline and he will cast it again. So what am I doing? I think I'll just cover it with 1 Mind Blast into Penance, and I use basically, I call out my team to use defensives here. Yeah, you see me popping Desperate Prayer. And I think we even get a 4th, which is catastrophic because the boss jumps away and I don't have an atonement target. And he does, but he jumps in the middle of it, so I don't get it. If this hit me, I would have popped Pains up probably. I'm not even popping Mind Blast here, which is wrong. I should have. Because in my head, I'm like always, oh, what if the boss spawns in the next 2 seconds? But it takes a little bit longer than that, right? It doesn't take, you have 15 seconds. I Rapture here just for fun, basically. I don't need it. And here I use Mindbender immediately going into this. And also pop PI, so the resetting the cooldown will not be a problem. And you also see I'm not overcommitting on radiances here. I just use 1, not 2. This is not the second boss in Dawnbreaker. The damage window is more frequent. Again, doing the same thing because I had PI up. My CD from Mindbender is very nice, and the boss jumps after the second, which is perfect. I don't get the 3rd. Well, this time I use Mind Blast at least. And I probably should use it here again, but I don't. I'm playing it safe. But yeah, next time I would use it there again. Yeah, see, it just takes a while until the boss. It's a lot of RP, basically. Popping Mindbender immediately, smiting a few times, see? Smiting a lot of times, actually. Mind Blast, Radiance. The Evoker almost flops. He actually pops his cheat death. Not good. I could have shielded him, but I'm also like trying to get my Mindbender back, right? I was early, so I could have shielded him, but I think he also forgot his Death CD there, or didn't have one. I'm in execute now, which means I'll be doing more healing, but also keep in mind Shadow Death is also not resetting your Mindbender, so that's kind of trade-off. We will get this third one, but I know because I'm in execute and we will be fine. Yeah, I get to Shadow Death twice here. I don't even fade. Yeah, like I'm not playing this super safe for the last debuff. The mob to watch here is this giant in this next section. Yeah, he does this huge AoE that you can line, by the way. So if you go out of his line of sight, then you will not take any damage. Popular cause of wiping here is not only the slam, but the slam overlapping with a cast from the mobs. You will see this a lot in like random keys or weekly 10s even. So it's important to like either fear or it's typically not you doing it's gonna be the shaman or the DK. A line here, not really for a reason, just to play it safe. And here I'm just kind of waiting for my Mind Blast CD to line up with my Mindbender again. I flash shield for the DR. I land again, even though I fade as well, but it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, and I walk into a bunch of bananas here in this next section. Very nice. Oh, the shaman dies here. Right, what even happened? I think he got one shot or something. Wait, should I go back? What did he die from? Oh, is it this zone here? Okay, sure. As a range, I will never die to this, yeah, because I'm not standing in melee. By the way, before you come for me, yes, I clicked powered fortitude there, but I also have it bound on left arrow button. But it's sometimes awkward to press, so I just click it sometimes. And we do something weird here. I didn't check the route, which I should have. And I expect this left demolition to be pulled. And we end up going into this house. And of course, I realize, okay, the one from the right is also like closing in on me. And I just popped Fade. But I want to keep it safe. Well, with Fade, it would allow me to like move past the mob, right? But I end up moving in a little bit later. I swear, I have never played this pull before, like inside this like house. I've never seen this part of the dungeon before. I don't know if this is a good pull, honestly. Yeah. I guess it lets you skip this one giant, I think. That's why you do it. I deliberately walk into these bananas because we're like joking in Discord that there's so many bananas, and I'm like, okay, let me soak them. It's not doing damage anyway. Okay, this next giant is going to get pulled into this next pack. I'm burying here just for the Evoker in me, basically. Not the best barrier, honestly, but whatever. Since we have cities up now and we will get the breath shield here in a second, I hope. Yeah, we just got it in time. And again, I'm like holding my Mindbender. Because in my head I'm like, oh, I'm always like if I use it too early, it will not be up for after the slam, and that's when I want to heal up the group. I don't want the group to be at low HP. Yeah. So that's why I'm sometimes delaying my stuff. It is less damage though, as I said. Oh yeah, we're pulling this pack here. There's not really anything happening in this pool. It's just a bunch of monkeys, literally, and I think one caster. I think something that I'm doing it now, but something I could do a better job at is sniping low percent mobs with Shadow with Death while Mindbender is up. Not only does it increase the duration of Mindbender for a little bit, it also like gives you two inescapable torment procs, which does a decent amount of AoE damage. Yeah, I will do it a lot, but sometimes I'll just forget about it. Oh, here again, I actually missed this missed the fact that this is coming up here. So, oh yeah, this is not a fail from me. This shaman literally said in Russian in Discord that he was lagging, and I'm kind of angry at this point because why is he talking in Russian? If I could have gripped him out, right? So, like, yeah, communication again. Like, I heard him talking, but I didn't know what he said. So he's like, he's just dying in the AoE zone or whatever because he's panicking. Yeah, again the chain hook. I'm like slightly mistiming my cast now. I'm like a bit flustered at this point. So this pull is kind of awkward because it's only two mobs, right? But this one raider is really dangerous. You want him to be low, and you also don't want this second commander to be very high as well. You want that commander to be killed off as soon as you, or at least almost as soon as you walk into this next pack. Ooh. Yeah, I'm like panicking here because I notice I don't get the cast off before he dies. But he ends up surviving. Yeah, this pull was a little bit messy, I think. Even though it's only two mobs, right? We kill it off completely, actually. I think this lost us a decent amount of time. But we really want to have CDs here, and I think we do a double pull here. We hex the wave shaper. And I think we just... oh, we lost this even. Yeah, correct. He pops AG here, Ascendance, and we just absolutely brutalize this pack. Very nice. See, I get the double Shadow of Death off here for some extra AoE damage. I'm watching the raid frame at this point, delaying my Mindbender. Do I delay my Mindbender here? I'm like debating with myself at this point, should I use it or not? Because I think that we're gonna drag it into this boss now. I end up deciding that I will use it. Because I think we want to kill off the commander at least. So we'll have it up soon. You don't need it for any like healing check, but okay, very important, this boss. I need to pause. You have a couple of jobs, I almost want to say, as a disc priest when you do this boss in particular. I don't know if you've played the first boss in Azure Vault and Dragonflight, but it's very similar. This breakwater cast here, it does a fuck ton of damage. Yeah. As a priest, at this key level, you need to have Fade up, you need to have Flash Lear up, and you need to have a shield. You might survive this without a shield actually, but without Flash Shield DR and Fade, you're gonna die. Yeah. The Shaman also always needs a shield. So you need to start applying your first shield like, I don't know, 6 seconds before. I'm just saying a number. A few seconds before the cast. And sometimes the Evoker needs a shield as well. Sometimes. They will let you know. They have a lot of depth CDs, but without them, they're kind of weak. So what you will see me do here often is like pre-atone for the 3% DR, and then also try to keep 3 people shielded at least. Which, as you will see, completely fucks over my damage. Yeah, so I'm not doing a lot of damage here. Because not only do I have to run a lot, but then I'm also thinking about like the next AoE. Oh yeah, mind soothing here because I'm very afraid that we pull this. I will do this continuously throughout the fight, by the way. And again, I fade, I flash shield up, I have a shield on myself, I have a shield on the shaman. And we're all safe. And that's the whole fight. Yeah, we just do this over and over. I even use Rapture here, so this kind of just makes it this process a little bit quicker. But here I still drop to below Bulwark HP, like it procs from that, right? Again, soothing this one pack. I'm using Mind Blast before Mind Bender for some reason. That's a mistake. I'm burying here, yeah, exactly. And again, you see the cast coming up in 5 seconds. I start shielding the Shaman. I will flash shield the Evoker probably. Now I just shield him. Oh yeah, the queuing is a bit fucked. Oh, and I missed the shield. And because I missed the shield, I pop Desperate Prayer, as you saw. I think it would not have mattered, but having Desperate Prayer in your like back pocket is pretty good here. Again, shielding the Shaman. I will even Radiance here. And here, I did something. Did I? Yeah. I did something very important here. Well, I Radianced for the 3% TR. And you see, I have to move out and I fade here. And I also need Flash. Oh no, I have Flash LDR up actually. Forget what I said. I thought the shield had CD, so I was using Flash Heal in order to reset the shield to get my own DR and also shield the target. That is something that can happen. This is why Train of Thought, the talent that gives you like shades of 1 second of shield, is pretty good. It's better for this scenario than it is for resetting penance. Again, using Flash Heal to pre-atone. Then also shielding him. I refreshed the shield because I noticed that it will run out. I have another shield on the Evoker last second. Holy fuck. But this is not very efficient damage wise because I'm like watching my shield CD and also my own fade and my own flash shield DR and stuff. But it just guarantees that we're gonna survive, and I think this is more important than anything. Yeah. So as you can see, I could do way more than 320k DPS here. But this is not why you're gonna deplete the key ever. Maybe on a 18. For this dungeon in particular. Again, like just shielding, and I flash shield here. Will I get it ready? No. I thought I would get shield ready to shield the Evoker last global, but it didn't. Being low here is not good, because I don't have a torment target, and I really want the group to be full HP here for this next boss. Timing here is actually not looking too great. We obviously end up timing it, but this is kind of close. And if somebody dies here, could already be a deplete. No. This next boss I kind of play similar. Yeah. I'm gonna pause here. Here, okay. As you know, the boss costs these 2 debuffs every 20 seconds apparently. And this dot has an enormous upfront damage. Very big. It starts one-shotting shamans and evokers at this key level, even earlier. This lines up perfectly with your fade, so you should always fade before the boss starts even throwing them out. I'm not exactly sure, but I think there's this. I actually don't know if it's a bug or whatever, but apparently you have to use personal damage reductions like fade before the dots are flying. Like you can see them flying on top of you, and then you get the magic debuff and dispel them. Because if you don't, you can do it mid-flight, because it's already calculating how much damage it does or whatever. Shields, however, or HP increases like Desperate Prayer will work. So because the DK got it here, actually very smart of him to not AMZ the first one, because on the first one, not really anything happening, right? So I dispel him, and then I just kind of try to line my healing with the slam. So the goal here is basically to top the group between the debuff applications. The dangerous thing here is not the slam, it's the debuffs. Always remember this on this fight. So you see, I use Flash Shield DR. It's only me getting it now because the DK. I get a Word of Glory here. I'm gonna rewind this because I want to see. Here, I get the debuff. I will also use Mind Blast here on the enemy because I know there's a slam coming up, and I will Mind Blast Radiance most likely. I get it off, the debuff, because I was the only one getting it, but now I need to be topped for the slam. I know my shield is getting up here. I see it, and I know I will survive it. Yeah. I will pop this shield last global, and I think I do. Yeah, and I get the shield off in the last global. It's risky, but sometimes you can get the cast off, right? And the Evoker gets it here. I dispel him. Does the slam go through? Ooh, very good. And now you're just kind of chilling, yeah. I will use this next Mindbender here in order to assist with damage, obviously. It does have a lot of HP, you should Mindbender here. And I'm holding it here because I want to get rid of the debuffs first. And you can see my display still has CD, so I'm like kind of flash healing them. And now I'm like relining my Mindbender with Mind Blast. But also already like thinking about the dot, right? So I have Flash LDR up at this point and Fade. Oh, actually, I don't have Flash LDR up. Gotta rewind again. You see it flying towards me, right? Let's see. Yeah. I don't have Flash LDR up here, which is a mistake. I have 2 charges of Surge, but no Flash LDR. I'm not sure if I had a shield. I'm not gonna rewind again. Apparently I didn't, because I would not have dropped this low. So I kind of panic pop everything here, because the next tick is gonna kill me. Of course, if you have a self-dispel macro, I think I even have one. It's on Shift Y. I'm not sure. But I just kind of panic pop everything. And I think I get a Word of Glory, definitely, and I use Desperate Prayer and the Pain Sub. Not good. Yeah. Missing your Death City even once can like almost kill you. The Evoker is handling the debuffs. I fall into the water, oh my god. And I know I have to like shield him because the debuffs are coming up and the DK gets it. And there's a slam coming up, so I try to like save the DK. But because he has barrier and also he's a DK, he's gonna be fine. I let Rapture roll here. And again, like just overcapping on defensives basically. I Rapture people, I have Flash Hildyar up, I will Master Spell myself here, yeah. I could have also just Master Spell immediately, but I will generally not do that because what if it's the tank and the DK getting it? Like, there's apparently a weak aura that shows two people getting it like in advance. It's not like a private weak aura thing, it's like actually something different. I don't have it though, so I'm just using what I have at my disposal. We have 2 minutes left at this point, which is not great because there's another platform coming up. Um, uh, However, I'm not looking at the timer at this moment. I'm not realizing how close this actually is. I dispel the shaman quickly. The DK survives on his own. I'm also like not doing the most consistent job at pre-shielding people. Here you'll see me shield the shaman, and I will try to flash shield Yara up and I have it here, but thankfully the shaman gets hit, and because he has a shield, he survives easily. You also see that grip is coming up, or is up in this case, so I can grip the evoker. And this platform is basically the same platform than the one before, just that the space is a little bit more weird, I think. I pop a pain sap on myself. I know I'll survive here. I think I even health pot here because I'm like, I don't want to get globaled from the slam and dot. Even though I've pain sap up, it wasn't possible anyway, but I still did it just to be safe. Probably shouldn't have though. I get spell warding here. My spells start kind of desyncing at this point. Because I'm like juggling, doing max DPS, but also going through my rotation of Fade, Flash Shield DR, to have a shield on my Shaman, to have Atonement on my Evoker at least. Oh, and there's another slam going off, which I even didn't realize. I thought this mob was dead already. We're doing something smart here. I think we like split the damage or something, and it ends up working. But I'm also now I'm looking at the timer and seeing, oh my god, it's actually kind of close, and we know there's a debuff coming or something in 8 seconds. So you could actually still die here. I think you would still time the key though, because it's like you cannot lose the key in the last second or something, or in the last X seconds. So we barely time this key. Yeah. Very close, as you can see. 3 seconds. Yeah. Whatever. This is a key that is, how should I put it? Very good for Disc Priest. Yeah. Because your shield and your like defensive package does a lot of work here. You saw that I wasn't really utilizing Master Spell at all, almost. I've done this key on a 16 without using Master Spell. But if, for example, the Evoke and you get the debuff, it's very good to Master Spell, for example, because you're both kind of weak. But with 2 charges of Pain Sub, AG, which wasn't even used, or the whole Prot Paladin package, Prot Paladin can really carry on this fight. Because they can also sack Spell Ward. It's like, this is just a little bit of a coordination fight, and the coordination being the Death City handling of this debuff and you pre-shielding the Shaman and so on. And it's kind of the same on the third boss, right? So if you got these 2 things down, then you should be good for this key. I think this is one of those keys that will eventually be timed on an 18. Our timer was terrible here. Even though we only had 3 deaths, I think the route that we were playing is not correct in a sense. But this will definitely be timed on a higher level very soon, probably. And I wouldn't do much different, honestly. Maybe tighten up my damage rotation windows if I get to do damage. Because as you saw, a lot of times you're just kind of focusing on surviving a lot. But of course, your secondary goal, important secondary goal, is also damage, of course. But your primary is survival and facilitating the survival of others. And if you don't do that, you don't even get to the part where doing damage matters, or doing enough damage matters. You will not be invited into keys because you're a disc priest that is doing good damage. That I already can tell you. Yeah. this is not happening. You will be remembered for doing good healing and for making people survive. You will not be remembered for doing 100k more DPS than the last disc priest or healer, or doesn't matter. Yeah. You're not a DPS, you're a healer. All right. I think I said my piece, and with that I say goodbye.